Hello, everyone, and welcome to MT4 Professional. My name is Randy Lindsay. I am host of today's live interactive session. If you have any questions or comments, please enter them in the chat panel or on the Q&A panel. Either one, I'll be able to see them and I can respond to them either on air or I will reply with a direct message. I want to let everyone know that we are here for educational purposes only, that MT4 Professional Resilient Traders are not investment advisory service. We're not registered investment brokers or broker dealers, but what we can do is, and because we're not registered, we can't give you specific trade advice, but what we can do is help you to develop a trading plan that is both consistently profitable and successful. And we can teach you how to use our remarkable platform on the live edge of the market. Trading with futures, stocks, Forex, options, and cryptocurrencies have a large potential for reward, but they have a large potential for risk. Make sure that you are willing to accept the risks in order to trade in any of these markets. Please don't trade with money that you cannot afford to lose. Past performance is not indicative of future results, so please get advice from a competent financial advisor before you start trading or investing in any of these markets. And never ever trade in a live account until you have first proven you can consistently and profitably trade in a simulated account. Again, I'm Randy Lindsay. I'm your trade coach today and operations director here at MT4 Professional. Claudio Cardinale is with us also. He is our product development director and all things technology guru. He's the brains behind everything, so we want to make sure that he gets credit for that. We are here to teach and train you about the MT4 Professional platform. Today, we're going to be looking at some trading strategies using MT4 Professional. We're going to look at a market scanner and what the scanner is all about, what MT4 Professional really is all about. Of course, nothing is real unless you see a live demonstration of everything in action. And I'm going to make a very special offer for those of you who are here because you're part of this class today. And of course, throughout the presentation, you have live questions and answers that I can answer as we go. So please don't be shy, ask away. I'll be even glad to show demonstrations or examples as we go. All right, so let's get right into it. Trading strategies. There are a lot of different strategies that are available today. So many different ones that we can't do them all. But what we do is cover a few that are most popular, that cover most of the audience that usually attend. So we've selected these popular ones to go over today. The EMA and price, MACD and signal, a moving average crossover, a combination of several of them, EMA and price, MACD and signal, and RSI, and the ever popular alligator strategy. The MT4 Professional Scanner can scan in real time all of these strategies plus many more and alert you to when conditions are met for a trade, a particular trade setup. So we are not limited to any of these. These are just ones I've chosen based upon our audience and the number of people that usually attend. So we're going to be going over those. If you have a specific example in mind, be sure and let me know. I'll be more than glad to look it up and present it in the class. So what is a market scanner and what is MT4 Professional? So if you look at all the different symbols that we have access to in MT4, 54x pairs, 20 CFDs, 9 timeframes, that's more than 630 combinations that you have to manually check in order to find a trade setup. Do you really think that you're able to do that? I know that I can't, but you might be Superman. I don't know. But how often do you think you miss opportunities because you're just sitting there looking around for different opportunities? Everyone knows that not every instrument is always trending. There is always an instrument trending somewhere, but we just don't know which one it is and at what time frame it should be trending. The nice thing about a scanner is that it can look for these types of trades and setups in the trending markets and alert you when these are trending. But if you're trying to do it manually, then that's going to be really difficult to do. And if you're only trading on one instrument, then you're really limiting yourself, because trading on different instruments is so important in today's market in order to make trading profitable, because it's due to correlation. If you're trading uncorrelated instruments, then you have a higher probability of a profitable trade, because you're removing uncertainty in the market by trading different instruments, and you're diversifying your portfolio. So you've got a lot of pluses there if you're trying to find a solution. And Market Scanner really is a perfect solution for this. What a Market Scanner really is an automatic tool that should allow you to scan the market for any situation of any symbol or any time frame, using your own rules, using your own indicators to find trade setups that match your criteria. So it's not really a signal provider, it's more of a tool that analyzes all of your strategies and identifies when the setup is ready to go. A simple example is the cross of two moving averages. And I've got a little spreadsheet over here on the right that shows symbols and that shows different colors for different time frames. And so what this is that if I have a scanner that's looking for something, I want to see when a crossover occurs. So a bullish cross is when the fast moving average, the MA15, moves on top of or over or greater than the slower moving average, the MA30. I want that to turn green as a bullish cross. And the bearish cross is the opposite. The 15 moves under the 30, gives me a red sell or a bearish cross. So if I have that as an example, then you can see that for every symbol that I have and for every time frame, I can see the relationship of a bullish or bearish cross on those instruments. So when I see a bullish cross on two different time frames, then I know that that is a much stronger uptrend. The much stronger downtrends are on these other instruments that have it on two different time frames. When I see this faster time frame a different color from the slower time frame, that tells me that two things. One, there's a potential reversal in play, or two, there is a correction in play. And either case, I'm waiting for either the 1 minute to go back green in the case of a correction, or for the 5 minute to go red in the case of a reversal. And so I'm watching for these in these setups. And so those are sometimes really nice setups, because that shows you which ones are actually moving and which ones are ready to go. So Market Scanner does all the work for you, so you can focus on the things more important, like getting your trade set up, or managing the trade if you're already in one, or getting your mindset where it belongs if you've taken an off trade. Once the trade's set up, the Market Scanner should search for any condition that meets your rules and alert you whether it's favorable to enter or exit. Here's another example, an EMA and price. What this is pure price action relative to a single moving average, in this case, an exponential moving average. So for all the symbols, and it can be any symbol, and for any time frame I want, I'm looking for when price is greater than that exponential moving average. So a bullish cross, when price is greater than, I want to see a green sell, and I want to see a red sell whenever the price is less than. So from this, I can see the dollar Canadian is strong across multiple time frames on price. And the S&P and NASDAQ are all very weak in this example. So that's what I'm looking for on those setups. And whenever I see something out of place, I know that it could cycle in or out. The green 1 minute could have just turned on, so I'm waiting for the 5 minute to cycle back in to give me an all lights on / trade entry setup. Same thing with the red setups. You can see that this turned red. All I need to see is a red 15 minute, or maybe this just turned green. These are correcting, but then soon will start to turn green, and we'll be back on that. So it lets me know when my trade is set up and when I'm ready to go. All right, this is a good place for the question. I see Jeffrey entered a question here. He says, I'd like to set an alert which tells me when my Forex pairs are trending, either bullish or bearish. Okay. That alert to be sent to my phone. Okay. Yeah, it can do that. I like to look at my scanner on my mobile device. Okay, you can do that. You're having trouble with prefixes and suffixes. Okay, I'll be glad to cover over that because as you can see, I have examples in these of using prefixes and suffixes as well. So we can help you set all of that up. I'll be glad to do that. So I'm using a lot of different time frames. So you can say, well, what's the big deal? Do you know that if you trade with multiple time frames that you have a higher probability of a profitable trade? And let's do the correlation. It's just one of the advantages of using multiple time frame technical analysis. So by checking multiple time frames before you initiate a trade, your trades will be in harmony with the longer time frame trend, and the result will be a high probability, low risk trade. If you look at the examples I have over on the right, you see that the longer time frame by nature is just a much smoother trend. It moves for a much longer period of time before it corrects in the envelope that it's on. The 1 hour or 15-minute by comparison are choppy and much noisier than the 4 hour. So if you're trading a 15-minute, if you're trading in the direction of the 4 hour, then you would only be looking to take longs. In this case, any corrective move that you see on a 15-minute can either be ignored or just not traded. Only trade in the direction of the longer term trend will give you a much higher probability that the outcome of your trade will end profitable. So if you try to take a trade counter trend, I'm not saying not to, just you know that you're going to keep your profit targets short. Just take small profits if you're trading counter trend, but let your profits run if you're trading along with the longer term trend. All right. A market scanner should be able to look for these things, look for these setups, and give you a verified trade which is in line with your longer time frame trend. So here's an example. I have 3 different time frames, a 4 hour, a daily, and a weekly. My 4 hour chart, I'm looking for a bullish cross on my MACD. I'm looking for relative strength, a positive relative strength, and I'm looking for a moving average cross. This occurred where you see the blue line on the screen. So when I verify that with multiple time frames, then on my second time frame, my daily, I'm using it to verify if this is indeed a good trade setup. My second time frame showed me a bullish MACD and a rising relative strength. That gave me all I needed to validate that on a daily basis. And then the weekly basis, all I'm looking for is a positive relative strength. I need to see their strength coming into that move, even though I don't have a MACD signal, even though I don't have a cross of my exponential moving average. Those are kind of slow and don't get me into the trades on a timely basis. But what I'm looking for is something that validates the trade and gives me a higher probability of entry. And so by doing that, I verified that this is a good trade entry, and the result was over 100 pips of profit in that particular trade setup. So by taking trades in harmony with the longer time frame, I get a lower risk trade and a higher probability out. So it's a powerful combination for any trade or any trader because it shows the importance of using multiple time frames in your trade. And a market scanner using multiple time frame analysis is an extremely valuable tool because it does all of this for you automatically. So our problem that we ran into as traders was that we could not find a scanner that met our criteria. What we did find was too complex to configure, which meant you had to have a programmer there, or you had to be one, the system was unstable, or maybe even a single tool that really wasn't integrated with the whole system. The scanners were incompatible with a lot of other indicators, or they just didn't work at all. So there were other issues that we just ran into. So our solution to this was to create MT4Professional for ourselves. So we coded it up and developed it for our own daily trading. And then others started seeing it and they really liked it, and we're asking for copies of it. So we decided to go ahead and release it. And as of today, our MT4Professional scanner is the #1 scanner on both MT4 and MT5. It's a tool that allows you to instantly scan the whole market for any setup that matches your own unique criteria and rules. So when you find a good trade setup, MT4Professional allows you to enhance that trading with multiple time frame technical analysis, which really isn't that easy to do on MT4 or MT5. So stay tuned. We're going to come over it a little bit more, but I'm going to launch my MT4 platform now. Let me go ahead and get it going here. I want to show you a regular MT4 setup. Here you can see 3 different charts. They're all about the same size. When you're working with MT4 or MT5, then you can't really align each of the windows with each other. For example, right here, you can see that I have a really nice bottoming setup, a reversal signal that's starting to play out. And then that is verified with a second reversal setup in the range of that and a failure to produce a new low. So this is a really great setup. And what we want to be able to see that. So I need to see if this right here, this time and this location is valid on the 2nd and 3rd time frames. But I have really no way of identifying that. So at this point, I have to look at my cursor and see down on the bottom that it's on the 17th at 11:30. So I move my mouse over to this window. I have to find the 17th at 11:30, and there it is right there. This is the location that I'm looking for right here. And the 3rd time frame, then I'm looking for the exact same setup. So 17th at, okay, there's 11. So the 11:30 bar would be right within this hour bar, 15-minute bar. So this right here is the identification of that. So I've got 2 out of 3 bars that are valid, giving me a go ahead for the setup. And the second criteria would be right here. So I have to look for those. And it's kind of hard to do that on standard MT4. Also, if I saw a setup here on the euro, I want to quickly go over and look possibly at the pound as well. But I can't quickly just go over to the pound. So I have to come over here and I have to drag and drop the pound symbol on all 3 of the charts just to be able to get it on the chart. And if I want to zoom in and get a little bit better view by going into full screen mode, do that. Well, notice that all of the space outside of my charts, I have to physically drag the charts if I want to see all of them at the same time. Of course, I can always just take one chart and make it full screen. I can always do that anyway, but I want to see all 3 of them full screen. I want to see them as big as I want to have this window. And without having to physically drag and drop all the windows, it's hard to do that. Now I can come up to my window tool and tile them. That works for windows that are all the same size. However, if I have windows that are all different sizes, then that just messes everything up and it becomes very, very cumbersome. So I really don't want to do that. So let's launch MT4Professional and just see what kind of results we get from that. MT4Professional launches up with a configuration manager. It opens up a page, a blank sheet, and asks you which configuration you want to launch. And so these are all the creations that I have made. They're different strategies or different setups that define the scanner, which time frames, and the chart layout that I want to use. So these are all the preset examples that come with MT4Professional. There's the EMA price. So that's what I'll do. I'll go ahead and load that one as the first one. Here's the default one. So what it does is it looks at 3 different time frames, 15, 5, 15, and 30-minute across these symbols that I've selected. Of course, you can select any symbol that you want. And I have 3 different charts set up, a 5, 15, and 30 corresponding with these 3 charts on my scanner. They don't have to be the same. They can be all different. I don't have to scan for all of the charts I have displayed either. So again, you have access to set it up just the way that you want. So what this is doing here is, since it's the EMA and price, what it's doing is it's looking for a setup that where the price is greater than the 15-period exponential moving average. And it should paint itself blue and green whenever the price is greater than that. I think in this particular example, I might have modified it to include the cross of the, what is that, a 20 period? Oh, it's a 50. So that's a simple moving average, a 50-period simple moving average. So I'm looking for the cross of that. So here you can see that price is under the EMA, but the EMA is greater than the 50. So you've got a yellow setup that tells me that this is not quite ready for a trade. It's in consolidation and it's not really a good trade setup. The 15-minute, however, is in a trade setup since price and cross is positive, and the same thing for the 30-minute. And we see that it's been that way for quite some time. So all we're doing is we're waiting for this to cycle back in line with the longer term trend, and it would be ready to go. That's the whole idea behind this. And the nice thing about the setup, and let me go ahead and expand this out and show you that. Notice all the windows completely redrew to fill in all of the available space that I've got. That's just invaluable, and I love that. And I don't have to worry about the charts. You know, if I want to go in a little bit closer and see this in full screen, of course, I always can do that. So I showed you before. But now notice the crosshairs that I'm looking at. Notice I can see that at any one point, these are all linked together. So when I see the first breakout right here that occurs at this point, then not only do I have a validation on the 30 and the 15, but I can see it also here on the 5-minute chart too. If I can get this autos there, get that off. Come on, there you go. There, right there. So you can see that at that point, right there, there's where my first, why does it do that? That's where my first trade setup is. It has something to do with this, maybe it's this one. There. Right there. That's the first point where I see a cross above and then the red and the blue greater. So I can see the blue cross right there, blue cross right there. There it is. This is the first one right here. So this then would be my entry point. And from this point to the final location up here, right there. That gives me a potential 77 pip trade, which is a nice setup. And that's a nice bank for the trade right there. So just confirming that, and I would have been alerted to this right here. And then at the cross, I would have been alerted right here. And then this one had already crossed over, and this one had already crossed over. So all I was waiting for was for this moving average to cross over this red one right here. That occurred on this bar, so I would have gotten the signal at the close of that bar, at the open of this bar. So I could have taken the trade either right at the open of this bar or at the close of that bar 5 minutes later to get me into the trade. So this would be my entry bar for the trade setup. So I'm going to go back to Jeffrey's question then, because he's looking for a pair. He's looking to find out if they are trending bullish or bearish. Now, obviously, you can see that your definition of whether it's trending bullish or bearish is based upon your criteria. Here, I've defined a bullish trend as if the price is greater than an exponential moving average. A second way to define a bullish trend is at a cross of two moving averages. You can say that it's not bullish until the faster moves greater than the slower. A third criteria would be if a longer time frame price crossed over a fixed moving average, and that would constitute a trend. So in this case, you can see we have been in a long trend for quite some time. And so anytime price comes down underneath this moving average, you know that it's in line with the longer term trend. So you will just ignore any closeouts or any things and just stick with the trade. So any bullishness or any trend setup can be identified as a trend. Number two, you want to be alerted for when it occurs. So let's look at the configuration manager and find out what the setup configuration is. So if you click on the scanner panel and then on the scanner itself, then you can see the actual rules that we use in order to define these setups. So I defined this color rule for all time frames as a main color rule. I can have more than one just by simply clicking this plus sign. But if you pull that down and click on the edit wheel, then you go to the specific data. Here in the specific data, I have the close of price greater than the 15-period exponential moving average. Well, that's what I was looking for, price to close above that moving average. I also have the 15-period exponential greater than the 50-period simple moving average right here. So that satisfies all the criteria. If these are true, I want to color the cell green. If either of these are not true, then it will ignore this case and it'll go to the OR operation onto this one. This is condition set 2. It's going to look at price and see, okay, well, if it's not greater than, is it less than? And is the 15 less than the 50? If both of these are true, then it will color the cell red. If one or the other of these conditions are true, but the other one is not, then the default color will be used, saying that the trade's not set up properly. In order to get these notifications, then right here on your scanner configuration, there's a checkbox that you identify so that when any of these colors change, you can be notified through the alert notification system. And if that's turned on, you can verify that your phone number is input into the MT4Professional website, and it will also send you an alert via your mobile device. So not only will you be alerted on MT4 with pop-ups or emails or whatever, but you will also receive a notification on your phone if you set this up. A word of caution, if you have a fast time frame, like 1 minute or less, or something like 5 minutes, then if the colors change every minute, you will be receiving an alert every minute. And if that's what you want, then absolutely you'll be getting it. But I just want to make sure that you understand that. Make sure that you test and validate your setup and criteria before you actually turn on your cell phone notifications, because you have a certain number of notifications each month that we give you access to. Okay, and of course, these are examples that I showed you using indicators that were available on the platform, but you can use any indicator that you want and any setup criteria that you want as well, because you have access to all of our operators and you have access to all of the indicators that is on your system. So you can pick from any indicator that you physically have located on your computer and use those. So let me show you then how you can monitor this on your mobile device. So with any browser, I'm going to pull this up and demonstrate. I've got a Chrome browser right here, and I'm going to go to MT4Professional's website. And you do that by going to MT4Professional.com and then just click on the sign in button, and that will log you into our membership area. While you're logged into the members area, you have access to a lot of information. The best part, of course, is the onboarding process, we hold your hand through each step to make sure that you get set up and going, and you know where everything is located and how to get help and how to get information. The Help and Documentation Center is always available to you with all of our quick start and install and uninstall instructions, where we walk you through each step in order to do the things that you want to do, including setting up our configurators for the scanners, for these symbols, and for the workspaces. And if you need to have any type of billing setups or questions, or even to unsubscribe, you have all the information on how to do that right here. But going back to the main website, if you click on the menu item that's called Real-Time Scanner, and what this does is it goes to a page that allows you to link up your mobile device, your tablet or your laptop or your phone, with your MT4 system that's running on your computer back in the office or back at your desk. So I'll connect to the computer that I'm currently running right now here on the system, and you'll see that I have an exact duplicate of the scanner that's running here, currently running here. And so any change that I see coming across here will be reflected right here in real time. And it allows me to interact with it as well. So if I see a potential setup here on the dollar Canadian, for example, I'm using that just as an example, then all I have to do is just click on it one time on my mobile device. And notice that on my computer, it changes to the dollar Canadian, and it gives me a snapshot of the setup right here on my mobile device, giving me a really nice opportunity for a potential trade setup coming in right now. So everything looks like it's crossed over and is ready to go. I'm just waiting for the actual entry. That's the idea behind the alerts and the setups. And being mobile, say that you had to go out for lunch and you didn't want to be tied to your computer. Well, your scanner is still going to be working for you, and it's going to alert you when these are ready. So you don't have to worry about it. Just take it with you and then notice the scanner as it sets up when you're out. There's also a small little bell icon here. So any other setups that occur, you will get a notification that the system, the time frame, what symbol was alerted, and even a link to the layout that looks like the setup is ready to go. And you get that in real time as well. In addition to that, you also get live announcements from us to let you know when new software is released or any fixes to any bugs that might have been put out. So you get all that as well. And then there's the little cog wheel in the corner. This is the settings. This allows you to set up your own setup, your own information, any payment methods or anything like that. It's all done right here in your settings area. And you can manage all of the snapshots that you take either here in the portal or on the platform itself using the camera mode. So if you see something that you want to share with the other traders that you're with, just take a picture of it and share it. And all the pictures that you do take are going to be stored here in the cloud under the snapshots window. And you can manage them by tagging them or making them public or private, and you can share them that way. Anything that you see or that you have set up, you can reference, you can share. And here is a link that we provide for you to be able to share on any of your social media or locations. Or you can just share the entire page that here of all of your snapshots. And only the public ones will be shown. If they're private, then it won't show those. It'll only show the ones that are listed as public. And since I mentioned it, whenever you click the Edit Configuration button, in the bottom right-hand corner, you can see there's a share icon. Looks like a little Mickey Mouse on the side, taking a nap. Well, anyway, the share icon is a really great tool because any configuration that you put together and that you develop on MT4Professional can be shared with any other MT4Professional user. So all of your teammates and the members that you're trading with can all be on the same page at the same time by sharing all of the configurations together. So all you have to do is click it, find the individual that you are interested in sharing with, and select that person and click the share button. And it will share all of the configurations, for example, the EMA and price, the one I just went through, with them. Once you do share it, then on this list right here, it'll show up in the inbox. So if you scroll all the way down to the bottom of your configuration panel, there's an inbox located right here that you will be able to click on any item that's been shared from other users within the system. Really a great tool. So the configuration, you can set up any of the parameters on the charts on the right, any symbol configuration, or any time frame setup. Let's go to a little more complicated one. I've got one that's called my MACD, I believe. Yeah, there it is. We'll load that one. See what it does is it loads up a complete set of new instruments, different time frames, and different chart layouts. And this probably would look familiar to you, but you can see that there are 3 different setups here what I'm looking for. So if I look at the configuration manager and then I edit that, go to the scanner and edit what rules, then you can see that I've got 2 different scanner color rules associated with this trade setup. One is a strong signal, the other is a weekly trend. So if I look at the strong signal, you can see that I'm using 3 different setups. I'm looking at the MACD cross. In this particular case, I'm looking at a MACD base indicator crossing under a MACD signal line. Well, if you look at the chart, the base indicator is the white histogram and the signal line is the red dashed line that you see there. So I'm looking for a bearish setup. And in this case, a bearish setup is right here where the histogram crosses below the red line. All right, there's another one right there. Histogram crosses below the red line. Here's another one right there. There's where the histogram crosses below the red line. So those are what I'm searching for, those occurrences. And I want to verify that not only does it cross below that, but I want to see that the close of price is less than a 15-period exponential moving average. So here's my 15-period and here's price. So wherever this occurs, I want to see when that cross occurs. So this then shows me the setup. This then gives me my second confirmation that this is a better place to get in. This right here probably would have gotten me in a little bit earlier, would have had a little bit of chop. But this gives me a much more confirmed movement because it shows me when price is starting to move below a known support. And thirdly, I want to see that relative strength is moving in my favor. So I want to see that the previous close of relative strength that was 2 bars ago. So if I'm looking at a relative strength graph, here's current, and this is the relative strength 2 bars ago. So I'm looking and comparing historical relative strength to current relative strength. By doing that, I can determine trend. Because if the previous bar was less than the current bar, I know I'm in a trend of strength. If the previous bar is greater than the current bar, I am in a trend of weakness. That's what I want to see. I want to see a relative strength increasing or decreasing. In this case, since it's weakness, I want to see that the previous one was greater than the current price, which means I'm in a downtrend on strength, and that's ideal for my downtrend setup. The opposite is true for the other side. So this is my criteria for a strong signal. You can see that I have two different ones. I have a strong signal defined for my 4-hour. I also have a strong signal defined for my 1-hour. But you can see on my weekly, I don't have the strong signal setup. I don't care about the exponential moving average or the MACDs or anything. All I want to see on my weekly trend, in this particular case, is if the price is greater than or less than the 15 period. So here in this case, the trend is down because the price is less than the 15 period. So my weekly trend, I'm looking only for downward trades. I'm looking for downtrades, downtrades, downtrades. And why would I want to only look for downtrade? Well, because it's in line with the longer term trend. It gives me a higher probability trade and lower risk for the trade setup. And gives me a better opportunity to hold with the longer term trend. That's the idea behind the setup and the trade, is to trade in the direction of strength. So this strategy is a good strategy, and it works really nice along those lines. And that's how it was set up. Very easy, very straightforward, and it can alert you whenever any of these setup conditions are met. So are there any questions up to this point? Let me see here. How do you get, okay. I think I showed that again. Let me go ahead and answer these things. I did answer that one. Answered that one. Okay. How do I get the screen? By clicking on the configuration button. Then you go to the configuration that you're looking for. Click the edit. And then click the specific scanner that you're looking for. And then on the scanner screen, that's where you'll find the real-time notifications. You can set that up and verify it. Now, the other screen is on a browser. So you open up a Chrome browser on your mobile device or on your laptop or on your tablet, and you log into the members area. And then you go to the real-time scanner, and that's where you access the screen for the trade setup that you're looking at. Okay. And yes, this session is being recorded. You'll get an email when the session has been finalized, being compiled. And just click on the link on the email. It'll take you to our YouTube page for the replay of the video. All right, let me go back to my presentation here real quick. So I want to make you a very special offer since you're part of my class today. MT4Professional has a bunch of features. The full-featured platform for both MT4 or MT5 are included. You get access to either one, your choice at the time of install. So you can see that if you go back to the members area, that you have access to both MT4 and MT5 versions of the most recent version of the software. So we let you see and use the full featured version. You get access to our exclusive Skype community, where you can chit chat throughout the day, 24/7, with all of the MT4Professional users. You get unlimited configurations and storage in the cloud, which is fully backed up in the cloud, and all of your configurations and data are backed up in the cloud, and you get up to 100 SMS notifications every month. You get all 14 of the pre-configured presets. These are the examples and including the strategies that we've shown you today that go through that as well. All this, we value that around $2,300, but you're not going to be paying that on the system. So what we've done is set up a value of $194 per month for the system. But because you're here in my class and we want to give you a good deal, we've knocked that down by 50%. So for $97 a month, you get access to the full featured software and all the things I've shown you through the demonstration today. You get 14 days to try it out absolutely free. And you can access this at the following link, MT4Professional.com/trial. Let me go ahead and type that in. There you go. In the chat box, MT4Professional.com/trial to get started on your trial. $97 a month, and you will not be charged a penny until after the 14-day trial is ended. And that's when your subscription actually starts. Now, if you can cancel, you can cancel anytime before the 14 days is over. You'll still get full access to 14 days, but you won't be billed a penny if you cancel before the trial is over. If you need to contact us for any questions, then our email is support@mt4professional.com. support@mt4professional.com, and that will create a ticket, and we guarantee we'll be back to you with the solution or a new timeline within 24 hours to let you know of the status of your request. All right, MT4Professional.com/trial. Let me get back to the system and demonstration here. And this is the point where you can ask me a question about any of the strategies, or to go over in more detail any of the strategies, or if you have a specific strategy you have in mind that you want to use, any of the experience that we have, then I'll be more than glad to answer that here. Okay, here's a question. Can you set up rules for custom indicators that someone purchased? Absolutely. Let me show you an example. Here's a setup configuration of a custom configuration setup. Okay, this Hawkeye software, there's another one here, is a high-end software platform that allows you to see trades and setups. This configuration shows setups on 4 different charts, 4 different time frames, and it's looking for trades that are based upon trend, volume, and momentum. So once you have these trades set up along those time frames, then all you have to do is identify the trade setup and get it done. Notice that over in the scanner that I have 3 different configuration rules for the fast time frame, but I only have 2 configuration rule setups for the middle time frame, and I only have 1 for the third time frame. So you can be as complicated or as simple as you want. And you can use any of the software's parameters that you want to as well. So when you see a really great setup, like you see here, consolidation range breakout and a change, then this is a great setup for an entry. You want to be alerted when these occur, and I'll show you exactly how this one's done. You just simply go to the configuration that we have already gone through, and you look for the configuration rules. Here I have 3 different color rules, which I showed you earlier, 3 different on the first time frame: trend, heat map, and volume. So I'm looking to see that this trend dot is bullish or bearish. I'm looking for the momentum, which is the heat map, to be solid in the direction I want to trade in, and I'm looking for volume to be supporting the direction of my trade. So I'm looking for bullish volume supporting my breakout. You should see all 3 of them in harmony. The second thing I want to look at is the 15-minute time frame. I don't care about the trend of the longer time frame. All I care about is that the momentum coming into it and that the volume is supporting my trade. And the third time frame, notice I only had one setup. I'm only looking at the volume. So if the 30-minute volume, which volume is one of the only leading indicators available, volume will lead you way into the trade. Your 30-minute chart should be supporting your 5 or 15-minute trade. And that is the setup you want. All of those are good, then you should see a signal and you should see either a green or red bar setup. Here you can see the pound is in solid red mode, which means that all three of the trend setups are in a downward trend, just like the euro is all three in a bullish trade. But just because they're all green doesn't mean that that is a trade. It was originally, but notice that they're all green, but it is consolidated and flat. Well, you look at the time of day as well, because we only have like 1 hour left in the actual trade day before the swap occurs. So you don't really want to be trading anytime beyond now anyway. But you can still see that because everything did occur and align at this point and would have given you a transition from a red to a green and a signal to get you in. So this is a custom software that was that you can purchase to get you into setups, and this configuration shows that any software, whether you developed it yourself or if it was developed by somebody else, can be integrated with MT4Professional and the scanner. Hey, Randy, you have solved the problem with the change of chats when a signal occurs. Oh, with the change of chats. Oh, the change of charts. Yeah, with the change of charts. Actually, that is not a problem. It is actually a design feature, because what it does is that when you get a signal, then it identifies the setup and the trade you're doing. Now, it doesn't do it for any signal, but if you're on a mobile device and you are looking for a specific signal, then yes, it will change the chart setup based upon the signal parameter, and it will give you the snapshot of that picture. So you won't be able to get a snapshot unless the chart changes. So it actually is a feature that we have built into the system. So unless I misunderstand your question, I think that's the solution that we had come up with. Jeffrey, the Hawkeye system, we do have a third-party affiliate relationship with Hawkeye. And so we have a link that we can provide for you that will give you access to the volume module. Now, let me open up the volume module here real quick and see if you can. There it is. The volume module is the same thing that you were just looking at, except it does not show the trend. It shows all of the interactions of the volume setup itself, the volume on the price, volume down here, and the pivot points and the wide bars. So by buying this, we have a special, you can get it for 97 bucks. It's a lifetime license for 97 bucks. You then get access to the members area, and within the members area, you can upgrade to the other indicators that we saw on the other charts at a 20% discount. So that's the nice thing about this, is you get a really good price to get started. And then from then on, all upgrades become 20% off. So it's a nice way to get started. Well, let me see if I can't find that for you. I think I've got it over here somewhere. All right, here we go. I think this is correct. Let me know if that's not correct, but the $97 should give you the starter package and get you going with the system. And then you should be able to do that. If that doesn't work, use this one. I think that's actually, no, this is the one that you probably need to use right here. There, I think that's the one. Let me click on it just to make sure. Yeah, that's it. Volume starter package. Enter your information, and there it is, $97 for the full package. Now get you going. And then from then on, you get the 20% discount in the members area. So don't use the first one, use the second one. Are there other questions? This, what I'm showing you right here is the starter package. And if you do purchase it, let me know. I'll send you this current configuration in the members area. So just by clicking on this, you can see all I have to do is just edit and click the share icon. Just let me know. I'll click it and send it to you and share it with you so you don't have to worry about setting it up. I already have it all set up for you. All right, well, if there aren't any other questions, then we've exhausted our hour. So thank you very much for your time and attention. I appreciate you being part of my class. We will be here in exactly 2 weeks, so please come back in 2 weeks for the next presentation. Until then, you can always contact us at support@mt4professional.com. support@mt4professional.com. And don't forget mt4professional.com/trial to get started on your 14-day free trial, and then the discounted $97 per month subscription. This isn't a one-time subscription price. It is a lifetime subscription discount. So it doesn't go back up after a month or 3 months or anything. It's a locked-in price. I'm not familiar, and I do not actually, it does not work with what you referred to, Jeffrey, weeb hooks, unless you use some other system, but it does not work with that. You're welcome. All right. Thank you very much for your time and attention. You guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in about 2 weeks. Hopefully I'll see you in the Skype chat room as well. Take care and bye for now.